Aloha guys, welcome back. This is Brian Boltwood with Prospering From Your Passions, where we help motivate and inspire entrepreneurs and sales and marketing professionals alike. Today, we're going to review an interview I did with Sunny Aloha Miller, but we've broken it into a 10-episode series called Nuggets of Knowledge, where I'm going to pull out a handful of information or clips, little nuggets that I think will help you on your journey as an entrepreneur or sales and marketing professional. So stick around to the end of the beginning part of the interview, where I will expand on the 5 little nuggets. Now we're going to get into the beginning of the interview. It'll give you a little bit of a background of my journey as an entrepreneur with my club promoting business called Nugget Style Productions.
Aloha, this is Sunny Aloha in Paradise, sharing Hawaii's community with the world on KPRP 650 AM. Okay, so on the right of me, I have Brian Boltwood. Yay!
You nailed it.
And since this is the first time that you're on the ALOHAOPRAH show, okay.
The what?
The ALOHAOPRAH.
Nice, that's awesome.
So since this is the first time, can you please, to our global listeners, especially on Twitch and on my Facebook Live, if you can introduce and tell us about yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me to the ALOHAOPRAH show. What a cool name. And it is really neat hearing people say my name, Brian Boltwood, when I used to come here when it was Power Radio Cox.
Right.
They didn't call me that.
Oh.
It was, I had my radio name or stage name, which was Mr. Nugget Style.
Oh my gosh, this is so funny.
Back 2007, 2008, I was a club promoter after I got out of the Navy here. And I eventually became in charge of the promotions manager for Zanzibar nightclub.
I don't believe that. Zanzibar. So, you know the Zanzibar, it's totally shut down?
It's called Gone. Yeah, no.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
Very fun.
But we had a presents package with Power 104.3.
Okay.
So I used to come here pretty much every Monday for about three years.
Can you believe it?
I would voice the spot, and I did these birthday giveaways where we would give away a chance to win a diamond. And we would announce their name on the radio. So I would come and do that, and whatever other little thing. Mike D was the one that every Monday it might have been this room or close in the next one over, but I would meet here with Mike D every Monday. It was like the only real thing that I felt like was work I had to do every week, and I loved it.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Wow. As a promotions manager for the club, was it because you were a manager prior at another club?
Not at all. No, not at all.
How did you become
the manager? Was just kind of a name. It was more like I owned my own company.
You did?
I did. My own production company, promotions company.
Wow.
Called Nugget Style Productions.
Okay, and then what kind of events did you produce?
Well, mostly nightclub events. We did. I started in the bars in Waikiki, and then worked my way up.
Wow.
Did a yacht party on the Makani Kai.
Okay, that's not there anymore, is it?
The Makani Kai is a yacht, or it's a really nice catamaran sailboat right by Fisherman's Wharf.
It's still there.
Oh, still there. They really nice boat. John's the captain. He built that thing and sailed it here. It holds, I want to say, 79 people.
Wow.
And we would take out 75 every Friday and bring them VIP to the Cirque Hawaii, which was like a Cirque du Soleil style show that we turned into a nightclub in their lobby.
You sound like you was a very good promotions person.
Yeah, I loved it. And I think that was the key. I really loved what I was doing. It never felt like work to me looking back on it.
Was that your full-time? That was your full-time
That was it. That was my business, yeah. It was it.
Gosh. You didn't want to stay?
I didn't. I loved being an entrepreneur. My family were all entrepreneurs.
Really?
I kind of had that idea that I wanted to I don't want to stay in Hawaii. I fell in love with Hawaii, so I didn't know what I was going to do, but I just knew I wanted to do my own thing, and yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? Don't you think that being an entrepreneur is like totally different from the military?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So people
Literally the complete opposite.
Yeah, because people that wanting to be entrepreneurs, okay, so they don't like having a boss and everything, but in the military, it's like it takes it farther. Yeah.
But I'll tell you, there's a trick to that though, because sometimes, nobody wants to have a boss, but in reality, like, even when you're an entrepreneur, you better be the best boss you've ever had, because you're responsible. There's no chief. There's nobody telling you what to do. It's your responsibility to get up and do the right thing in the morning. No one's going to yell at you if you don't, but you're going to feel the repercussions later, I mean, yeah, it's huge.
So you decided to stay, so you got out of the military. Okay, so from there, did you right away have to find a job before you started your business?
I did. Well, I actually did not. My friend owned a bar in Waikiki called Tsunamis, and
I heard of that one.
Yeah, he just told me, he said, you know what, like, I own my own condo. I had no idea what I was going to do. I thought I was going to work for Rockstar Energy Drink, actually, as like a promo person.
Okay.
And then he told me he owned a third of the bar.
Okay.
And he said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you half the door on our slowest night if you can get people in here. And he owned a third of the bar, so he would get all the door and give me half of it and make way more money at the bar. And I was like, wow, I could make, within a few months, I was making more money one night a week than I did all week in the Navy.
Wow.
I mean, as literally just hanging out at a bar and talking on a microphone and getting my friends to come. I was mass texting 10 people at a time on a flip phone.
I know that.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Because you know what, you gotta establish yourself, reputation,
Totally.
Build your audience.
Yep. I've been doing it again, and that's a product of me being here right now. I mean, honestly, because I just started my YouTube channel less than a month ago.
Yeah. So what happened, everybody? Okay, this is so interesting. What happened is I saw that he had just started a project, and I saw it and I thought, wow, he would be perfect to just have his own show. Because you've also all heard me say that if you get a YouTube, if you get a podcast, might as well get a radio.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the first part of the interview that we did with Sunny Aloha Miller down at KPRP 650 AM. First, I want to talk about the first nugget, be your own boss. This is something that, obviously anybody that's ever asked someone, or, at least for me, whenever I ask an entrepreneur, how do you like your, having your own business? 9 times out of 10, I always hear, well, at least I don't have a boss, or I work for myself. It's nice being your own boss. It's such a common theme that people enjoy because they don't have a boss over them. But one thing I want to make sure that you understand, if you haven't already started your business, or if you're still starting out, or just in general, is that you really, really need to be your own boss. And I learned this the hard way when I was younger, but you have to wear about 12 different hats. In the best case scenario, from accountant to marketing, sales, stock keeper, making sure everything's ordered, scheduling. So you really do need to hold yourself accountable and, expect more from yourself than anyone else ever possibly could, so that you can, accomplish your goals and stick to timelines, but when they say be your own boss, don't look at it like you don't have to answer to anybody. Make sure that you frame it in a way that you do have to answer to yourself, and be the hardest boss that you could ever have, because the reality is that starting your own business in the beginning, it really does take a lot of effort, and one of the other steps, which is grinding, but you really do need to hold yourself accountable and make sure that you are doing what's necessary. The second nugget from this part of the interview would be seed money. Now, when you look up seed money, the definition says that seed money is typically for a new entrepreneur to ask friends or family, sometimes angel investors, for money to start their business. Now, when I say seed money, I'm saying it because of the analogy to growing something where you need to grow your business, right? So you put a seed in, you water it, over time it grows. So now, whether you get this money from yourself or from other people, for myself, when I started my business, I actually did have a job for about 3 months right after the Navy, which when she asked me, I said no, that I had not, but I thought about it, and I did marketing for a travel club. I sold luau's and dinner cruises out on the streets of Waikiki, but I got really good at stopping people and getting comfortable talking to strangers on the street, which promoting for nightclubs, that was all I really did, was go around and meet people and talk to them and get them to come to my events. So it did help me, and it gave me a little bit of money in between the Navy and starting my business. But then once I started, that was all I did for about 1.5 years. And then I hit a point where one of my events that I made most of my money from was not busy. I didn't make any money, and I still had to pay for the radio, for the flyers, the DJs. And the reality is that I needed money, and the MC from the radio station, Micah Banks, asked me, you know, what do you do for your day job? I think he could see on my face that I was panicked because there was nobody there at the club. And I looked at him confused and I said, what do you mean day job? This is what I do. This is my business. And that night I went and I Googled promoter day job, and I found Zip Fizz, which I basically would go to Costco's and Sam's Clubs, and I would set up tables and I would pour powder into water bottles, wear the hairnet and a hat, and I would sell this product to soccer moms basically at Costco for 15 bucks an hour. But it got me through as I started my business I did it for about 6 or 8 months, and I think, I can't remember exactly, but I think it was about 2 or 3 months went by where I was making enough money or more money from Sunday nights at an event that I got a Sunday night gig where I was making more money than I did all week for Zip Fizz, in addition to my other business income, and I was able to quit Zip Fizz and focus just on my business because I had replaced the money that I was making from my job with my business. And you know, the point is that I want you to understand that you are going to need money for your business. So wherever that's going to come from, it doesn't just appear, and you need to have a backup in the beginning when you're starting out. So have seed money to grow your business until you are at a point where you feel comfortable just focusing on growing your business and don't need the extra income. Number 3, our third nugget for this clip, which you hear me talk about, was do what you love. Confucius says if you do something you love, you'll never work again. My father really instilled this idea into my brothers and I when we were younger, and I never lost sight of that. So when I got out of the Navy, and I loved the nightclub world, I loved, well, the bar world, but then the nightclub world. I loved promoting, I loved meeting people, and I was really into it. Now my life has taken a different direction, which is why I'm going more into the e-commerce, publishing, YouTube, podcast, radio type of world, because that's more what I'm passionate about now, is encouraging you and other entrepreneurs in sales and marketing professionals, and motivating myself at the same time to follow my dreams and my passion of creating businesses. So the idea being that whatever it is that you're going to go down on your journey or your venture, that it is something that you're passionate about, because when it gets hard and your friends are wanting you to go out to party or go for drinks, or when you want to go out and stay out and you have work to do, you really do, you need it to be something you're passionate about, so when it's hard, that you'll do what it takes. I've been literally falling asleep at my laptop and made myself stand up and work, standing up, using my laptop so that I wouldn't fall asleep until I was falling asleep standing up, and then I would get a couple hours of sleep and go back to work. So when you're passionate about what you're doing, when you love what you do, it really isn't like work. And that's the idea of the third nugget or tip from this video clip. So number 4 would be to grind hard. This is going to be a common theme throughout my talks and speeches and book. And it's really just about putting in more effort than you ever really thought you had in you. And I believe that's what it takes to really accomplish whatever it is that you want, your goals. If you can push yourself to grind, it's not about being loud with grinding, it's about being consistent and putting the work in over time. And number 5 would be to establish yourself or build your audience. So, however you do that, go out and network with people, and and make friends with people, ask questions, get mentors. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. If you're starting a new business, You really do have to put the work in to establish yourself and build your audience. And that's what we're working on now together, and I really appreciate your support and helping me with my fifth nugget from this one, which is establishing your audience, building your audience and establishing yourself. So there's a lot of quotes about number one, be your own boss. One of my favorite ones that I'll leave you with is be your own boss. It's great. You get to choose which 18 hours a day that you work. And I just think that's really funny because it's like, you get to choose. You don't have someone telling you what to do, but you got to hold yourself to that standard. And it really does require that kind of effort if you're going to achieve the level of success that I'm hoping you're reaching for in your journey. But thank you for watching this first episode in our Nuggets of Knowledge series. Brian Boltwood with Prospering from Your Passions. We'll see you guys on the second episode. Aloha.